Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 3 in a series between Polt versus Sleep here on Core Hall Compound LE. Polt spawning as the blue Terran player here at the what I'll call the 1 or 2 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Sleep spawning here as the red Zerg at what I will call the 7 or 8 o'clock position. Now, so far the series is tied at 1 game apiece. We'll see what's going to happen in game 3 of this series. I believe this series is a best of 5, so we will have at least 2 more games as the game does get underway. Now, this is the first time I've cast a game here on Core Hall Compound. There is a starting location once more. There are only 2 spawning locations similar to Xel'Naga Caverns, and from there you have a ramp that leads straight into your second base. The second base does look like it is possible to set up a Forge Fast expansion. It may take 2 pylons to do so, but it shouldn't be all too difficult. But then again, this is Terran versus Zerg, so no Forge Fast expansions are possible. From there, you have a little bit of a further away third base, and Zerg players should find this third base a little bit more difficult to defend, but not nearly as bad as, say, in the Xel'Naga Caverns, as we now see drones make their way out in order to do a bit of scouting. The front door of Polt pretty much shows a barracks going down, and also we see a refinery coming into play for Polt. So Polt opting to not go for a soup or gaseous expansion. Perhaps he will open up with Reactor Hellion, since he knows where exactly his opponent is and can send his units off there. Drone gonna come up the ramp, take a look, and perhaps try to harass that SCV. The SCV, nope, pretty much being left alone as the drone wants to see if a refinery is placed down. And now, with that refinery done, should perhaps try to go back towards that SCV. No, it looks like the SCV is just going to be able to build in peace as that drone retreats. Supply depot now being used to finish off that front door. We are going into an extractor, followed quickly by a spawning pool. The spawning pool will be a little bit, the spawning pool will be done well before, or a little bit before, there is 100 gas. And Sleep should have metabolic boosted lings in order to try to control a map and wrestle away map control, especially from those early Hellions. Polt taking a look. Does he see the expansion? Yes, he already spotted the expansion. He's going to see the extractor and also see the spawning pool, and he knows that he has a limited window of opportunity to really do any serious harassment with Hellions. We'll see if he does go for a reactor on the barracks, and he does in fact do so. He may lift off the factory and land it. We'll see if that is going to be the case, as a bunker now being placed down. The bunker is beyond, is it? Yes, it is just beyond sight range, and that is huge, as a Marine now tries to destroy the hatchery. That Marine was going to have a very, very difficult time, as Zerglings are going to try to funnel their way in. But that bunker, when it is completed, is going to cause a lot of problems, as the Marines are going to be able to jump inside there. The difference, though, is as soon as a Queen is out, the Queen's going to be able to absorb much of that damage, as the Queen's going to make its way over to the bunker. And now you can see that the Overlord being forced to retreat. One drone, what's going to happen to the drone? No, the Zergling's going to chase after the Marines. Marines jumping back inside the safety of that bunker. An SCV sitting on the ramp to provide sight up onto the high ground, as Zerglings and Queens now going to engage. It looks as though the SCV is going to repair here. The SCV is able to jump inside the bunker and then walk back out, and now continuing to repair again. Beautiful micro by Polt, as Polt is somehow able to save this bunker, and now the Queen is in trouble. The Queen now forced to back away, a spine crawler being added, as another Queen going to come up from the high ground and perhaps try to attack the SCV. The SCV is going to be taking some damage. It finally gets taken down. No, the SCV now coming back out, trying to repairing, and just indestructible, as unhittable, as the Hellions now finally arrive to the party, and now the Zerglings are in trouble. Is the bunker going to be salvaged? No, it is not going to be salvaged in time. But Polt, absolutely brilliant with this harassment, getting in a lot of damage and forcing a lot of units to be trained. 21 drones compared to 22 SCVs, and still we are upgrading to a second orbital command. The spine crawler does have a lot of armor, and here we go, Hellions against Marines. The Zerglings are going to get toasted here, and they do get taken down. The Hellions now trying to perhaps make their way inside this mineral line here, taking down some of the drones. Zerglings are going to get destroyed, perhaps even some of this larva as well, as the larva does take additional damage from the Hellions. 2 queens now forced to stay on the ramp as opposed to staying close to the hatchery, not going to be able to hit those injects as much. And now Sleep finally able to get off a round of drones. But this is not going to be good, as Polt is already done with his second orbital command. And with 2 orbital commands, I think Polt is going to have a very easy time transitioning into mid-game and now just place down a whole bunch of production buildings. Barracks now being placed down here, another starport being added, and now Polt is just cranking up for the mid-game. Harvester count is 31 to 26. We'll see how long that lasts, as Polt may not be able to catch up in terms of the macro, but then again, there is not a macro hatch here. Sleep unable, or now running up on 2 gas. We'll see what's going to happen. He's not going to be able to transition into a Mutalisk or any very gas intensive build, as he is just now starting his extractors. 31 drones versus 30 SCVs. There is 1 Overlord hiding in the air, as Polt looks to build a wall of supply depots to prevent any Zerglings from doing an easy run by. 38 drones, 32 SCVs, 5 more drones on the way. If Sleep is able to hold on to that drone advantage and perhaps set up a macro hatch, he should be in a good position in the mid game. The problem is that Polt is already cranking up his production. 3 barracks, 2 reactors, double training medevacs, getting stim, should be getting combat shield shortly, as the Hellions are trying to control the creep. You can see that Sleep, a couple of those creep tumors are bleeding, as a Zergling now attempts to run all the way across the field. Harvester count 36 compared to 48. Sleep is looking very good, but Polt has a much larger army, and if he's able to translate that into some drone kills, say in the next 3 minutes, that will give Polt the definite lead in terms of his economy, as he already will be able to harvest and double train with double orbital commands for double mules and training up double SCVs. Marines now making a push out. It looks like that combat shield needs about another minute or so. The Hellions going to absorb and perhaps deal a lot of damage to those Zerglings, as the Zerglings are in position here. The Hellions destroying a lot of these creep tumors, as the Marines also destroy some creep tumors as well. Hellions going to town, and with that, I believe a lot of these creep tumors will not be replaced anytime soon, as Sleep is going to be in trouble. Sleep, however, transitioning into Mutalisks, and I don't know if Mutalisks are nearly as cost effective as, say, Roach or Hydralisks and Zerglings at this point. The Mutalisks are not going to be able to go up against these Marines. The Marines are going to have 1-0 upgrades with combat shield in just a moment. There's already some medevacs on the field, and the Marines going to just be able to walk straight into this group. There's not enough creep tumors as the Banelings try to find their target. It looks like some damage is dealt. The Banelings still looking to chase after those units here, as the Mutalisks, and the Mutalisks could chase after the medevacs. The medevacs now dropping Marines as the Banelings continue to push over, and yes, more and more Marines are getting destroyed. The medevacs do get killed, but Polt losing a very small force, but having a much larger force back at home. Harvester count is 47 to 46. Worker kill count not that high for both players, and it really feels like Polt has control and momentum on his side in this game so far, as he looks to establish a new base down over here perhaps. Mutalisk now looking to fly inside the base, will be able to pick off a free SCV and now take down some of the additional add-ons. With the reactor gone, no more double training of medevacs. The reactor already down to 4750 hit points. SCV brought over to repair in time, and now the Marines able to push away those Mutalisks once more. Now we'll see what Polt does to follow this up. Sleep now training up 13 drones at a time. He will take a strong economic lead, but Polt will definitely have a much larger army going into the mid-game. If Sleep can extend this game and get this base saturated, he's going to be in a very good position once again. But Polt has not been sitting back and relaxing this entire game. He's been applying a pressure. He's been trying to harass with Hellions. He could easily execute drops now, even though there are Mutalisks on the field. as long as he has good map insight, as he knows that the Mutalisks are constantly trying to harass him here, he could try to execute a drop in the main base, even though Sleep also has a spine crawler now rooting itself. Mutalisk lying in wait. We can see Sleep establishing his third base now. No drones being transferred yet. 64 drones versus 50 SCVs. SCVs still being trained. No Mutalisks in the near future, as we now see a massive bioforce with siege tanks and Hellions moving out. And this is going to be the deciding battle. If Sleep is able to hold this off without losing that many workers, he should be able to remax faster than Polt. If Polt is able to take down even one of these bases, then Sleep is not going to be able to get back into this, as more and more Hellions getting destroyed. Now Sleep has taken a definitive lead in terms of food, and also Sleep has taken a nice lead in terms of overall army count. Will he be able to stop this attack is the key question. The Marines and the siege tanks now doing a push down. It doesn't look like the Mutalisks caught this, and this is going to be a huge, as the siege tanks scanner sweep, take a look, see if there's any units. The Overlord now going to die, or perhaps push their way back, as the Banelings do have movement speed. And now the siege tanks are going to try to get in position. The siege tanks in a very nice pocket there. That's going to be very difficult to get to, perhaps just with Mutalisks, as the Zerglings now, and the Zerglings and the Mutalisks may perhaps just attempt to destroy this command center before it even lands. Marines now getting some easy damage on the drones. The Marines are going to be forced to back off here. The Queen taking way too much damage, as the Zerglings and Banelings trying to pressure here. This command center will fall. There are a lot of siege tanks here protecting the Marines from Banelings, and the Banelings perhaps are going to find their target. And the Banelings do hit their Marines, and now Sleep looks like he will be able to defend against this attack. The Medivacs, and there's not enough Marines here. He can perhaps just try to pick apart these far siege tanks. And now Polt, with a very small army attacking, doesn't look like he'll be able to really break this down unless the reinforcements get there in time. The reinforcements won't get there in time, as Sleep cleans up the attack force with Banelings and Zerglings, and now the Medivacs are in full retreat. Polt is in trouble. He is now down by 40 food. Mutalisks trying to push their way in. Siege tanks siege up, and there we go. Polt able to fend off and make sure no more Marines fall, as the tanks now need to head back home. Polt rebuilding his command center. Harvester count is 60 compared to 52. Army shows a different story though, as Sleep has almost triple or more than triple the size of the gas army of Sleep. That's going to be a definite problem. The siege tanks, not enough. Only 5 siege tanks and 2 Medivacs for 44 Marines. Mutalisks now going to town on all of these buildings here. The Marines able to push it back once more. They are upgraded 1-0 compared to the Marines are only upgraded 1-0 compared to 1-1 on the Marines now, as the Mutalisks going to finish off many of these Marines. More and more units reinforcing the Thor does show up, and we'll see if it's going to be enough, as a supply depot now being forced to be repaired. Otherwise, it will burn to a crisp. Polt only behind by 7 harvesters at this stage. Harvester kill count is 5-5 now. Mutalisks looking to see if there's an expansion here at the 11 o'clock location. Still no expansion, as Polt now tries to reestablish this 3 o'clock expansion. Zergling already burrowed there. The Marines will be forced to try to engage and clean that up, as we also see some Banelings ready to go. This is going to be a huge battle here. Does Polt spot the Banelings? No, he does not spot the Banelings. Is it going to die? Oh, those Marines could have all been destroyed. That would have been a huge loss. The Banelings are now should be able to melt many of those Marines. Are they going to fall? Yes, they do. A lot of Marines fall down here, as the front door now funneling in with a whole bunch of Zerglings, and Polt is in trouble. He cannot raise that supply depot. Zergling's going to finish off a lot of Marines here. It looks like it's going to be an all-in attack from Polt, but Sleep definitely has the food advantage, as the Zerglings now destroying the siege tanks. Mutalisks are coming in. Banelings fighting the siege tanks. The Marines going up against the Mutalisks, and Sleep keeping those Mutalisks alive, as the Zerglings entirely destroy the front door. And I believe Polt will have to GG, as he's unable to land, even though there is a missile turret. The SCVs should try to take it down, but Polt cleaning up a lot of the Mutalisks. That was a really bad exchange there. Not quite sure why the Mutalisks stuck around trying to take down those Marines, as the Marines are a straight up counter to those Mutalisks. Marines now looking to back off. The Zerglings trying to engage the Marines. Looks like 3 of them sticking around a little bit too long and now retreating again. The medevacs now in trouble, as well as Zerglings coming. It looks as though one missile turret may get destroyed. SCVs trying to fight. The Banelings should be able to just take down all of these SCVs here. Are they going to do exactly that? Yes, SCVs and Marines getting destroyed. And Polt now down to 44 food. There's the GG. Polt losing game 3 to xSix's Sleep. And now Sleep 1 win away from winning Zotac. I believe this is the finals, as game 4 now coming at you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 3. Stay tuned for game 4.